had tasted life in detention. He knew what it felt like to lose freedom. That was when he joined forces with other political activists in agitating for the return of multi-party democracy in Kenya, what has since been referred to as the Second Liberation Struggle.
Jaramogi had actually convened us to a meeting and saying the time is ripe, that now is a time, to go out and ensure that this political objective is realized. And in that meeting that he called initially, we were there with Raila Amolo Odinga, Paul Mwite, Joe Aguirre, and Professor Nyang' Nyong'o. Other people came later like Mukisa Kitui and Kreato Murungi. And we said, how do we go about this? And we wanted to declare the existence of a party, a political party. Initially, we went to court seeking registration. The court refused. Then we said, we are going to go to the people.
We have made our message to the United Nations and the people of all the world.
It was a struggle that claimed many lives. On one hand, there were defiant and resilient political leaders who received backing from a section of the clergy and human rights activists, while on the other, there was the well-oiled government machinery that was cracking down on dissidents who led the famous Saba Saba protests of 1990 and 1991.
Quite a number of activists. We managed to seek refuge in the house of a friend of mine who was then a political officer in the Zimbabwean High Commission. I went to his house. I told him what we wanted to do. And this is one of the odd factors of history, that somebody from Zimbabwe was supporting us.
After congregating in Kileleshwa, they drove to the railways roundabout, adjacent to the former location of the U.S. Embassy.
So the media gathered there. We went there in some, four-wheel drives. And as we drove towards along Race Course Road, somewhere near Modurwa, we left the pickup, the four wheels, and then went to the pickup. I decided, initially it was like, Muliro and Chikuku and Gachoka should be the ones to be in the pickup. But I said, no, we can't leave these old men alone. So I went into the pickup. And from there on, when we made that change into the pickup from the four-wheel drives, that is when we started getting police confrontation.
On 29th December 1992, James Orengo was elected again as Ugenya Member of Parliament on a Ford Kenya ticket. He served on this position until 2002 when he contested for presidency, but lost. He had previously spearheaded attempts to impeach then-President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi in his last term in office.
Raise a motion of no confidence. That was unprecedented. The scenes around Parliament, roads were closed, the military were around. In fact, it had been rumored that I would not have access to Parliament. And I realized later, because I went to Parliament walking, because I'd been warned that I would not be allowed into the chambers.
The firebrand politician says there was once an attempt on his life when he was a member of the National Assembly. He blames this on rumors that he would rise on a point of order on a sensitive matter.
From the corridor that leads out to the car park, that is adjacent to Uhuru Highway, people came about 10 of them, heavily built. And I was told they were from the Reke section, a section from Ruiru. And I was coming out of the chambers. There they were. And they were coming after me, and nobody was stopping them. And when I looked around, I said, you know, this is not something ordinary. These guys are after my life. So I started running, literally. And they kept on coming. And what saved me was Mr. Madenge, who works with the Nation, the cameraman. And he had expected me to, to raise something in the house, and now wanted to find out what I was doing, whether I was going away or I was planning something. Yeah, just a gut feeling. So when he was coming up from the steps from the first floor, from the, he had a very good view of what is happening. And he took a picture. I have that picture even now, running in the corridor of Parliament with these huge guys. And they were coming in a formation, 4 of them on the right and 4 of them on the left, and then about 5, 3 or 4 coming from the corridor leading to the car park. And I forever say that, Madenge saved my life.
One would ask, what really drives someone to put their life on the line for the sake of a nation? Don't they fear for their families on ramifications of their political stand?
Well, this happens when you have internalized a lot of these things. You're prepared for the eventualities. You must make a conscious decision and, individualize, that commitment. Because when it happens, probably it will not be everybody, it will be one particular individual. So, even at the level of family, you talk to people around you, so that they are able to understand what you're doing. Like my kids, there's a time when I was going to take them to school, St. Mary. I was driving, and the police stopped us at the entrance and forced themselves into the car. And my kids were squeezed by the policemen in the middle of the car. And they were trying to effect an arrest before I take the children into school. And to them, that was an experience that we had to explain.
Orengo, who served as Minister for Lands in the Grand Coalition government, is serving his 2nd term as Siaya Senator. He is now the minority leader in the Senate. Duncan Hemba, The Untold Story.